Good morning.
Good morning.
How's it going?
Doing great. How about
Awesome.
you?
Good. 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 So good to see you guys.
You know, Michael, I spent quite a bit of time last week thinking about Kubler-Ross's 5 descriptions of grief and how to get through it. And, we all grieve in so many different ways about a lot of things. You know, I may think about things that it has no meaning to you, but, and I was talking to my husband about it too. And we really need to take the time to go through that grief process so we can move on with our life. Most people just want to shoot right on by it and just say, oh, I'm good, and get over it. And it always comes back to bite you in the end if you don't take time to think about things.
That's exactly right.
I really appreciated that last week. It was really good.
I think that is the key, to take the time to grieve and go through the entire process, whatever that means for you, whatever that means for me, and not shortcut it, circumvent it,
Yep.
We can use so many different distractions to prevent ourselves from fully feeling the grief, experiencing it, processing things, letting go, forgiving, all that's involved in that.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, we too often spend too much of our lives trying to maximize pleasure and minimize that which is challenging, difficult, painful. And yet they both have their place and have so many gifts for us. We really miss out when we try to prevent the darker side, the shadow side from happening,
Well, we're Americans. We're above the fray. We just forge ahead,
Right.
We're all good.
Yeah.
We forget that there's a human side to us too. We're not automatons,
That's right.
So, yeah.
That's right. Well, today I want us to talk about opportunities. I've been thinking about opportunities lately and wanting to put myself in a position to take advantage of the opportunities that come my way, to be prepared when opportunities arrive, to recognize opportunities when they come my way. And I just thought it would be helpful to talk about that a little bit, to explore a little bit of what I've been doing and thinking, and seeing what resonates with you guys, and letting you share, what your thoughts and how you deal with opportunities that come your way. First and foremost, I want to say that when it comes to opportunities, obviously we could talk about it in many, many areas. You could talk about business opportunities. You could talk about relationship opportunities. You can talk about, any number of things. But really what I'm talking about is a focus on opportunities that provide for us, lead us to a more meaningful life, or opportunities that provide for us an occasion for growth. So what I'm talking about really are soul opportunities that help the resonance of my soul to increase, the tone, the humanity and divinity deep within. And so think about how you define opportunity. Think about the ways in your life that you are you actively looking for opportunities? Is it more passive and they really have to sort of jump on you and sort of punch you in the gut and say, hey, here's an opportunity, take it? Or are you the type of person, have the type of personality where you actually go out and try to create opportunities, make opportunities? I think any probably some things work better than others, but I think there's a lot of valid ways to approach the opportunities in our lives. I would just say that I think the most important, at least foundational, fundamental aspects of opportunities is openness, awareness, and preparation. So I have to have an awareness that an opportunity has arrived. If I'm not aware of it, then it doesn't exist for me, right? I have to be open to opportunities in whatever form they arrive. And I have to be prepared. And I think we can live in a certain way that allows us to be aware, open, prepared. Thomas Edison said, "We often miss opportunity because it's dressed in overalls and looks like work." Many of the best opportunities cost us something, involve not only effort, but actual work, and sometimes pain. This awareness that I'm talking about, this openness, this preparation has a lot to do with living in the now, living in the moment. When one door closes, another door opens, Alexander Graham Bell said. But we so often look so long and so regretfully upon the closed door that we do not see the one which is open for us. Think about that. How many supposed opportunities are we longing after? Are we staring after? Are we regretting? Are we feeling guilty about? Or we whatever it is that we miss the opportunity that's right in front of us at this moment? Maybe there are two doors, and one represents the opportunity that is right now. And one represents maybe a missed opportunity, or maybe an opportunity that we've already taken advantage of and it's time to move on. If we're focused on the previous one, if we're focused on the wrong door, then we can't be open to the door that is there for us. Michael Singer, in his incredible book called The Untethered Soul, says, you should be experiencing the life that is happening to you, not the one you wish was happening. Don't waste a moment of life trying to make other things happen. Appreciate the moments you are given. To me, those two things, what Bell says and what Singer says, go so hand in hand. Opportunities involve choices. In one sense, I truly believe that everything is an opportunity, every single thing. I think when we talk about meaning in life, we talk about the value of life, we talk about the experience of life, it comes down to our mindset. And if our mindset is that everything is valuable, everything has an opportunity in it, then that mindset is going to give us the most opportunities and occasions for growth and development and evolution of our souls. So I think that's a great way to live. I think for me to say about every person that I encounter, about every experience that I have, about every situation I find myself in, if I say, this too is my teacher, I think that's the best approach to life we can possibly have. And yet, some opportunities will provide so much more for us than others. So I think we have to be very careful and wise about choosing our opportunities. So yes, everything can be an opportunity. Everything can be a teacher, but there are things that are going to do so much more for us, that be so much more in line with our purpose and calling and mission, versus those that sort of lead us in a different direction, lead us off the path. Choose wisely, because and this is sort of a economics concept, but there are opportunity costs. Everything costs us. And every time you make a choice for a particular opportunity, that's also a choice away from, against, instead of every other opportunity that is out there. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveler, long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other, just as fair, having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for the passing there, had worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay, in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day. Yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. I promise you this, way does lead on to way, and every choice we make and for a given opportunity leads to other opportunities. And we're going down a certain path, which means we're not on other paths. Choose wisely. Be careful. I would say, even though everything can be an opportunity, and we should have that mindset, and that is important, some opportunities are going to do so much more for us. And if we make our focus, and if we make our intention, if we make our priority, I'm going to choose the opportunities that provide the most growth, the most opportunity for my soul, for my mind, for my being, not necessarily for my pocketbook, not necessarily for my status, not necessarily for my comfort, not necessarily for more frivolous, more shallow pleasures. But I want to choose the occasion of grace. I want to choose the occasion for growth, for opportunity to become a better iteration of myself. Think about what our lives look like if that's our choice. If that was our priority, what would it look like? I think it would be incredible. John F. Kennedy said something that many people have said this same thing. And I have read that this is not exactly true. This is not exactly accurate. So I don't really know. But I'll tell you this, if this isn't true, it should be. The Chinese use two brushstrokes to write the word crisis. One brushstroke stands for danger, the other for opportunity. I do know there is a crossroads, there is an intersection, and in that intersection of opportunity, of course there is threat, of course there is danger, of course there are costs involved, but there's opportunity in those moments. Some of the most painful experiences in life cause us the most growth, do the most good for us in the most important ways. Thomas Monson said, our most significant opportunities will be found in times of greatest difficulty. Of course I can grow in good times. Of course I can grow when things are going, well, easily, smooth, when that path is smooth, of course I can grow. And I can tell you quite honestly, I've spent a lifetime trying to do that. I've spent a lifetime recommitting to spiritual growth, not just in crisis, not just when life deals me a blow that lowers me and puts me on the ground and puts me down, and I am coming from that deep, dark night of the soul place of need. But when I am happy, so I'm going to tell you, that's most of the time for me. So if I'm not growing spiritually, if my soul is not expanding when I'm happy, I'm in trouble. I have committed to trying to grow in times of prosperity and joy and happiness and smoothness. But I'm also doing my very best to embrace the storm, to embrace the challenges, to embrace the difficulties, to embrace the painful experiences of this life that I have become convinced are some of the greatest opportunities I will ever have. And I believe the same is true for you. Roy Bennett said, turn your obstacles into opportunities and your problems into possibilities. Lao Tzu in the Tao Te Ching said, failure is an opportunity. Now, success is an opportunity also. And the Tao Te Ching also says that success is just as dangerous as failure. And that climbing up the rungs of the ladder is just as precarious as climbing down the rungs of the ladder. If you blame someone else, there is no end to the blame. Therefore, the master fulfills her own obligations and corrects her own mistakes. She does what she needs to do and demands nothing of others. Thinking back just over the last few weeks, I have perceived certain situations, certain people, certain events as opportunities. And I have tried to maximize those opportunities. I have tried to maximize opportunities with loved ones that are not going to be here forever, or just as likely, just as surely, I'm not going to be here forever. We all have such a limited time. And we all, as my dad so often says, we all get the same 24 hours every day. It's not the time, it's what we do with it. And I've tried to maximize my opportunities with my children, with my parents, with my friends, with my loved ones. And we're in a time right now where, because of the pandemic, because of being careful and thoughtful about others and their health, it's very isolating. And I have felt isolated, and I have felt alone, and I have felt cut off socially more than any other way. But maximizing the opportunities we have in safe conditions as safely as possible, I've tried to spend as much time with loved ones, dear, precious loved ones, as possible. I have tried to maximize the opportunities to say what needs to be said, which more than anything else is, I love you. I care for you. I am here for you. I hope that it is true right now, and that it'll be true at the end of my life, that I have said I love you more than any other thing I have ever said, any other phrase. And I do believe that's true. And I hope that friends, acquaintances, and strangers have heard from me, I'm here if I can help you. I'm here if I can do anything for you. We have a limited supply, not of opportunities, but of time, of money, of energy, of attention. How are we going to spend it? Because we can blow through it doing absolutely nothing, nothing that we gain from, nothing that we grow from. Or we can awaken to possibilities, to opportunities that are all around us all the time. We've talked many times about blockages and about how important it is to forgive and let go of resentment and let go of bitterness and hatred and any blockage, distraction, busyness, addiction, whatever it happens to be, any blockage that keeps the flow from happening. Those blockages prevent us from recognizing opportunities. They prevent us from taking advantage of opportunities. Practicing non-attachment, and I'm not talking about detachment. I'm not talking about being a sociopath or living without love and passion, but practicing, let me say it this way, practicing non-clinging. If I practice non-clinging, then I'm open to opportunities. But if I'm still clinging to old, past, previous events, relationships, business decisions, career choices, guilt and failures, and whatever the past, whatever is in the past, if I'm clinging to that, if I'm obsessed with that, if I'm distracted by that, I am not open to the opportunities of this moment, of this day, of right now. And I pray that I am not doing that. And I want to be made aware of any ways in which I am doing that. And I want to change that as quickly and efficiently as possible. Because I realize how limited my time is. I realize how limited my energy is, how limited my attention is, how limited my resources are. And I want to use them all, spend them all, use it all up on what will give me the most meaningful life, the most growth and evolution as a person, to make me a better person, that I might be of better service to others. And in some way, no matter how small, some way to make the world a better place. To make the people around me better people with more meaningful and fulfilling lives. Make them feel as much as I possibly can unconditional love. Thoughts, comments, questions? Anybody want to say anything?
Michael, I have one question. I in the beginning of your talk, you talked about taking the road less traveled. I have a next door neighbor. He's a sophomore in high school. I pick him up twice a week at the high school. We had this conversation the other day about choosing the right path and how you can know what is the right way. Well, how do you make that decision? Because he's talking about maybe going on to college and, doing things, getting a job and so on. Could you, I know this is a ridiculous question, but do you think you could summarize in one or two sentences what I could say to him as a 16-year-old, what you should look for? Because I took it from the Proverbs and from the Bible to like, this is the way, walk ye in it, and make sure that you're walking in a way that would honor your mom and your dad and still give you some growth potential too. But as a young person, it's so easy to get distracted. And right. And when I love him and I want him to do the right thing and try not to get sidetracked with a lot of superfluous stuff that really would not add to anything in his life except right. trouble. Would you have like a one or two sentences that would be helpful to him?
I'm gonna lay it on you, but it's not gonna be one or two sentences. So follow your passion, follow your
Okay.
interest. There's a reason why they're in you.
Mhm.
This was a song I heard in high school that made a real big impression on me. The desire is the confirmation that the destination is there. You have
Good
been
point.
given
Good point.
gifts, and they are your interest. They are your dharma. They are
Mhm.
your calling. If you're interested in it, it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter what it seems like. How is this possible? How will this help? Follow it. And I'll tell you this: follow the path and follow your interest and work your ass off on on those interests, on becoming that thing, on being
Mhm.
that thing. And yet, I mean, as you're doing that, there should be confirmations all along the way that you're on the right
Mhm.
path, that you're doing the right
Good
thing.
point. Good point.
But at any moment you feel like you're on the wrong path, hey, you know what the word repentance literally means?
Mhm.
Change
Turning back.
directions. Yeah.
Yep.
Take a different road, take a different path,
Mhm.
turn around, go to the right, go to the left, whatever it happens to be. I think we too often trap ourselves into saying, oh, this was my choice. I've got it. I chose this degree, so I've got to finish it. I chose this career. I chose this, whatever. The moment I realize that I'm on the wrong path, I'm getting off as quickly as possible. I'll find the nearest exit and try to get back on a different path. And sometimes you don't know. I mean, sometimes you have to go down a path a certain way, certain length before you know it's not the right path.
Mhm.
So often we're too scared. Well, what if I make a mistake? Every single thing I do involves mistake.
Mhm.
And everything. I'm not scared of taking the wrong path. It'll be interesting and I can gain from it no matter what's on that path. But if I will do so with the mindset that I can change directions, I can get off this path at any moment. So what makes for an interesting life, what makes for a rewarding life, fulfilling life, is going within, finding what's there, what is of interest, what resonates, what is passionate, and pursuing that.
Mm.
And sometimes you may tell him this. Sometimes, the best thing you can do is be your own patron. And so you say, I have this love, I have this passion, I have this thing I want to do, and yet doing it's not going to pay the bills. So I'm going to get a decent job that I can enjoy and it has its own rewards, but that will allow me to be my own patron for what I really feel like I should be doing, called to do. That's not necessarily my job. You can have a vocation and an avocation. That's just a little bit of what I would tell him.
That's good, because he really wants to be a basketball player, but he's not tall enough or fast enough. So I said, you need to have plan B.
Right. That's right.
And also play basketball.
Absolutely. And some of the very best coaches, commentators, are people who love the game more than anyone. That's right. And don't have the physical ability to play it, so pursue your passion and follow the path that it leads, as long as it's producing good fruit. That's always say is there good fruit being produced, and you're getting confirmations, and they may be few and far between, but some confirmations that you are on the right path. Have enough within you to know even when I'm not getting confirmation, if it's producing good fruit, I'm going to stick with this. I know this is my path, but confirmation should come.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Absolutely. Anyone else? I think you're muted. Is somebody make sure you're not? There you go. I thought I saw your mouth moving.
Yeah. I say habit works against a lot of people because they fall into a routine and they get in a rut and they don't look for opportunities, and then they bemoan the lost opportunities.
Right. That's right. That what you're saying is so critical. Routine, habit, and I'm going to throw another term in there that goes along with that. That's so dangerous, and that is living on autopilot. I mean, how often do we not even aware of what's around us? We're not really paying attention. We're not focusing. We're not really seeing and perceiving because we've just sort of put it on autopilot. I know how to do this. I know, this is my routine. I've done this job forever. I've lived this way forever. It's so important to make changes, shake things up, do things differently. For our brains, they say, choose a different route. Even if you're going to the same place every day, take different routes as often as you can. And let's say you're really, good with your right hand at doing something. Well, do it with your left. It does so much for the ways in which our brains work, but it also does things for our perceptions. Remember in Dead Poets Society, the teacher had all the guys stand up on their desks, take a different vantage point, take a different view, and see what the world looks like from someone else's perspective, from a different path. I mentioned awareness and openness. Another important component is curiosity. Mm-hmm. Stay curious, explore. We should be experimenting and exploring. And we are running out of time. Why aren't we experimenting? Why aren't we exploring? Because some part of us has convinced ourselves that we have plenty of time, plenty of opportunities. And so we're taking some for granted, and we're not moving like we should, not responding like we should.
Well, there's so many people that if you would ask them, well, where do you want to be on this day next year? What do you want to be doing? What situation do you want to be in? They have no idea. They never thought about it.
That's right.
Mm.
And
the space youth, the teenage, of course, all they're looking forward is the next big game or the big rock concert that's coming or something like that. That's as far as they think.
And the choices of today, the accepting or rejecting of the opportunities today determine who we are tomorrow, determine the choices and opportunities we're going to have tomorrow.
Hey, there's something wrong. You're breaking up a lot visually and audibly. I don't know what the technical situation is, but
is that true for everyone? If it's only happening for you, it may be your connection. If it's happening for everybody, then it may be mine.
I can see people's mouths moving, but I can't hear them now.
Anybody else having that problem?
Is somebody speaking that's not?
No, we're good here.
Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Maybe your connection.
I'm good here.
Okay.
Can I say a quick something?
Sure.
Sorry, I'm joining you by audio only today. So, thinking of our lives that they're just written by the decisions that we make. And, sometimes we don't understand in the moment where each of our choices and decisions will take us. But I think that overall, as a grown person looking back, we may have regrets and disappointments, but most of them are because of opportunities not taken and choices not made. The excuses will always be there, right? But the opportunities won't. So I'm thinking about calculated risks and how very sometimes you just gotta go for it. So I'm going to try to take some sort of calculated risk this week. And I challenge you all to do the same. Talk about them next week.
Great point.
Wallowing in regret. Too much of that.
When I started writing fiction, what I was doing, no one could see. It's not like I was building a house and they could visualize it, see it, you know. I had to be committed to that, and I had to believe in it, and I had to pursue it before there was any evidence that anyone else could see. And I can distinctly remember the change in the people around me the first time they held that first hardcover book, and they were like, this is real. This is something. We have to make choices and pursue it before there's evidence sometimes. That's what faith is, taking that step before we know exactly where that footfall is going to land. Got just a couple of minutes. Anybody else want to say something?
Is there any way to share these Zoom sessions with other people? I bet you'd have a lot more people signing up for it.
We do. We have, it's on Facebook. We have hundreds of views each week on Facebook and YouTube. And a lot of people can't make it at this time, but they do get to listen and see it. And eventually it will be on a podcast. So yeah, the audience is a lot bigger than what it's able to be live, but I hope it'll continue to grow live as well. We have just less than a minute. Zoom's going to cut us off. So thank you all so much. I hope you'll take advantage of opportunities that are given to you today. And I hope that I will too.
Thanks, Michael.
Love y'all. See you next
Have a
week.
great week, everybody.
Thanks.
Y'all
Bye.
too. Bye.